I know what burnout looks like. I've sat with hundreds of people going through it. I've seen burnout take people who were brilliant, capable, and completely on top of things and slowly wear them down. Like many others, I have personally experienced the inevitable effects of work related stress and burnout, along with developing my own coping strategies as described in recent research. 3 kids, 10 years of ongoing challenges, and a job that demanded I give my all to others every day left me working harder and harder as frustration built up. This video is based on real experiences. The first signs for me are always the same: tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind that's still there when you wake up. And irritable, with that low level friction where everything feels a bit harder than it should. Most people miss these signs. It's not that they're not paying attention, but because they're still functioning, they're still hitting their targets, still showing up, and still seem fine from the outside. That was precisely where I found myself in 2020. The world stopped. According to a report by Harsh and colleagues, long demanding work hours can leave people feeling exhausted and disconnected from their personal lives, making it difficult to recognize when burnout has set in. I don't want to go back to that, so I've built a system, not just for my clients, but for myself, that helps me avoid it. When I notice the early signs like tiredness or irritability, I turn to my 10-minute burnout reset. It's a quick, practical exercise you can do with just your phone and a bit of curiosity, developed from 15 years of therapy experience. And my photography practice, this reset takes 10 minutes and is simple to try. You don't need to talk, just notice and take a photo. The idea is simple. When your mind won't switch off, sometimes the fastest way back to yourself is through your eyes instead of your thoughts. The link to the free PDF is in the description. I use this first because it breaks the pattern and grounds me quickly. That matters more than most people realize. My next tool, a camera walk, not for great photos or posting, but to ground myself. Not to take good photos, not to post anything, just to walk down the street in the city and practice being present. I've done this in Rome, in New York, in Dublin. Trips where I turned my phone on once a day and spent the rest of the time just looking. Carrying a camera with no agenda helps shift my mind from thinking to seeing. I start noticing light, posture, and small details. That shift from thinking to seeing is what therapeutic photography does. It's a way of completing something your nervous system has been trying to finish. Understanding why this works matters, so let's get into some of the science. When we use our senses, we activate brain regions involved in attention. Research has shown intentional sensory activities can help shift our nervous system out of a stress response and into a calmer state. I've done this in Rome, in New York, in Dublin, trips where I turned my phone on once a day and spent the rest of the time just looking, really looking. When you focus on seeing through the lens rather than rumination, you are literally helping your brain return to a place of safety and calm. In week 2 of my pre-burnout program, there's a lesson called Lesson 3 that I return to myself, not just with clients. It's based on work by Emily Nagoski, who explains that burnout happens when your stress response is activated, but the cycle doesn't finish. When your body responds to stress, it releases chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. Once the stressor is gone, your body needs a signal to calm down. Otherwise, the stress hormones keep circulating. The problem is that most of us never complete the cycle. We finish the project, but we never release the energy. We never signal to our nervous system that it's safe to relax. Stress can remain elevated without proper intervention. A stress cycle tracker introduced in week 2 is a practical tool. It asks you to notice when you're activated and what you did to complete the cycle. The photography walk reliably resets me, but for a deeper solution, I turn to the pre-burnout program. It runs for 6 weeks. It combines a monitoring app, group calls, and community support to guide you through recovery from burnout. Each week has a new focus. By the end, you'll have a personalized plan and a clear sense of how to stay out of burnout, not just recover from it. I built it because I needed it. I kept seeing high performers running on empty who couldn't access therapy because of cost or waiting lists. Group calls can feel intimidating, so I've made participation flexible and completely optional. There is never any pressure to talk. You can listen in and know the space is supportive. The program opens on May 1st. There are 20 spaces available. The waitlist is open now and the link is in the description. If any part of this feels familiar, then you're exactly who I built it for. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Burnout doesn't announce itself. It sneaks up on you. The people who catch it early aren't necessarily more resilient. They're the ones who know what to look for and have something to turn to. Start with the 10-minute reset. Give it 10 minutes and see how it feels. If it doesn't work for you right away, that's completely normal. If you still feel stuck, try a simple walk or just change your environment for a few minutes. The important thing is to keep experimenting without judging yourself. And if you want to go deeper, the wait list is open. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe for more insights. Link to 10-minute reset and wait list in description.